Hope, hi. This is an amazing day. I'm completely in awe of you doing a sky dive. My God, right up there. I mean, obviously, I've never got anywhere near it, and I never think I will. But, you know, what are you, now you've been told a bit about it, what are you expecting? How do you feel about it?
I've gone from being very excited and like, yes, I'm doing it. And then you get in there and they'll go, right, you're literally going to fall out and get caught up in a 100-mile-an-hour wind and go that way. And you're going, oh my God, this is going to be scary. I'm looking forward to it in the weirdest way possible. I'm a bit of an adrenaline junkie. But it's that moment where you've got to sit on the edge of the plane and he's just going to tip you out. That, I think, for me is going to be the pinnacle of fear for me. I think once I'm going, I'll be all right. It's just going to be that tip, I think, is going to send me off the edge.
I was going to say, if it was me, I think they'd have to push me out. What about you? How confident do you feel that you'll be able to jump as opposed to being pushed?
I think what's handy, when I've done the bungee, they literally count to 3 and then you have to go on your own. So if you don't go on 3, you're kind of freezing. Whereas for a skydive, you are going to be dangling out the plane and your instructor behind you and he's just going to tip. So he won't give me a countdown, he'll just go, I just think is what I'm going to need. Because if he counts down and goes, you ready? You're going to go, no, I'm not. Whereas at least he'll just go and I'm there then. So it'll be good doing that.
Now, I mean, we all think you're exceptionally brave and we're really grateful to you for raising awareness of suicide. But can you just talk us through your story about, you know, a little, what's motivated you to do the skydive today?
What's motivated me? I've always wanted to do one. Like I said, a bit of an adrenaline junkie. I've done bungees, I've done all the big roller coasters and everything like that. And it just seemed I needed to channel kind of my grief, as it were, into doing something productive. You know, kind of my family and yourselves know what it's like to lose someone to suicide, and you can't kind of process it, you can't imagine it unless you've been in someone's shoes. And I couldn't wish it upon my worst enemy to feel like that, with that person or the family. I couldn't imagine it. So raising awareness and raising the money to go towards something so important, people thinking, you know, it's not as taboo. If we talk, someone will listen and we can solve it. You know, suicide doesn't have to be the answer. And I don't need anybody to feel like my dad did or any of the family did. They need to help. If it saves one person, that it's completely worth it. Absolutely completely worth it.
So it was your dad that took his life. How long ago was that and what were the circumstances surrounding it?
It was 2 years ago on the 29th of July, so we've literally just passed the 2-year mark. I had my wedding 2 weeks prior to that. So we got married, got back to work for 2 days, and then we found out. We knew he was feeling down and kind of there was something there, but we found he'd put a very good mask on and not really gone through it too much. Again, it's that taboo, I shouldn't be feeling like this, I don't need to talk to someone. And I mean, the week before my wedding, my uncle took him to Tenerife just to kind of get away, and because they're twins, they kind of, that sense of something's not quite right. And he seemed to be okay, things seemed to be looking up. Wedding was wonderful, we saw him the weekend before, big Sunday roast at my sister's, lovely. And then we found out on the 29th, I think it was Tuesday, that he took his own life. And we were going, I remember being told it, and I'm going, oh, you're wrong, get on the phone, I'm calling my dad's mobile. Obviously there's no answer, but you're going, well, that's, you know, you got this wrong, that you're not right, and I found out it was. But it's hard to explain because it's that moment your world crashes. It is like the rug has been pulled out. So we didn't really know what was going on, and you think back and you feel quite guilty of how did you not know. But it's the case of, you know, we didn't. It was a very good mass.
Did he leave a note or anything?
Nothing. I don't think my dad was that organised to leave a note, if I'm honest. But on the weekend, because it was such a lovely weekend, we saw everyone, you know, retrospectively look back, and obviously it made peace with the fact that this is going to happen. I'll have a lovely weekend with my daughters. You know, we kind of saw family the week before. I think it was just he was going, this is going to happen, and I'll do my buys now and leave it at that. So obviously kind of saw him on the Sunday fit and healthy, and I think that's how we'll remember him, it's how my daughter will remember him, and which it is quite nice in the way we didn't see any decline of anything really.
Having just spoken to his brother, the feeling is that in fact he was organised and he had prepared this. Is that right?
Yeah, looking back, I think he's probably right. You do, because it's been such a lovely kind of build up. He went away on holiday with him, and then we had the wedding and a lovely kind of 2 weeks when I was off, and that like Sunday dinner with all the family, and then it was so out of the blue. That's why we think it was planned. It was going to be a nice couple of weeks before where he was going to enjoy what he had around him.
And of course you have no sense because he's appearing perfectly,
Yeah, he'd
perfectly
obviously
normal,
come to
perfectly
terms
at
with this is what's
ease,
going to happen, and
no warning at all, and that's
nothing.
very often the case.
Yeah.
Okay, so tell us a little bit about why you wanted to jump to raise funds for SOS and Kaleidoscope Group.
I wanted to do it for a long time, and I've always put it off, thinking I'll sort it, I'll do it. And then when I found a kind of SOS online, I was kind of having a bit of a look round for stuff, because you find lots of guides on how to deal with grief, but you don't see the side of how to deal with grief about suicide, because it's that elephant in the room, no one wants to talk about it. When I found this, thought that's exactly what it is, someone who's lost someone to suicide and knows what you're going through. So that's why I contacted you, and then it kind of sprung on. I wanted to fundraise for you, I wanted to do something to raise awareness, to do something, I said, to channel my grief into something productive. I couldn't just sit there and go, oh, my dad committed suicide, oh dear, and I'm thinking, no, I can speak about this, and I'm surprised how many, don't get me wrong, it's not the opening conversation, but people talking, going, oh yeah, well this happened. You go, oh right, well I'm bipolar, or I've suffered anxiety, I've been on this medication, and it's amazing how many people will actually, once you've started the speaking, we'll start talking to you.
It's like a release mechanism.
It is, and we found that it's worked really well. I mean, the amount of people who have come to me and said, yeah, I've suffered, or when I've kind of posted this on social media or spoke about it in the paper, I've had messages from just people I don't know, random people saying, oh, I had a girl who was a student in Loughborough, I think they said, was my cousin committed suicide at 15 and bullied, and he said, I don't really speak about it, and she was about 19, but I can't donate much to my student, but donated £3. Go, do you know what? Whether it's 50p or £1 million, the fact that you've recognised it and supported this is fantastic. And hopefully that'll kind of encourage other people just to speak about it, because it happens. It sounds awful, but it happens.
This is it. It can happen to anyone at any point.
Exactly. No one's immune. No one doesn't care. Yeah,
absolutely. So obviously you've had your briefing.
Yes.
You're getting ready to jump in about an hour's time. So how are you feeling just before you go up?
Now I've been through the briefing, it's becoming extremely real. And they'll sit there and you go, right, lie on your stomach, arms like this, arms back, knees back, drag this up. You're thinking, oh wow, it's not just a ride now, it's literally you've got to do all this, and they'll strap you in. So it's feeling very real. So I've got nerves, don't get me wrong. I think it'd be a bit odd if I didn't have nerves. I think as soon as I'm in the plane and I'm literally kitted up, hat on, goggles on, going,
so how high up are you going to be?
It's going to be 10,000 feet.
10,000? So we might not see you at that, or maybe we will, just.
You'll hear me coming down, I'll be shouting.
I want you to do SOS in the sky as you come down.
I'll try, it depends on the wind, but no. But,
so I've been looking online at your fundraising page. And you have done brilliantly.
Thank you.
Last time I looked, I think you're just under £3,200, which is astounding, isn't it?
Yeah.
And just shows the level of support, not just for you, but for the subject.
Yeah.
I think, the support that people are having for the subject of suicide. So how much do you think you might reach by the end of the day when all the collections are taken into account?
Well, I checked on Virgin Money Giving this morning, and including gift aid, I'm about 3,500.
Brilliant.
So I've got a little bit more to come in. I've got donation buckets floating around.
Yeah.
So we may hit maybe 3.8. If we have a very good day, it might be 4. So I think 3.8 may be looking realistic, but it's just, it's not even. I mean, the amount of money is fantastic, but just the support. As soon as you speak about it, I've had friends and family who are kind of come in today and here today, and you're like, that's great. You're thinking. Sometimes people go, oh, so my dad committed suicide. They're going, oh, weather's nice, and really won't interact with it, but I've had such a good support from family and friends that if I want to talk, they'll talk. If I don't feel like talking that day, they won't. And that's exactly what I needed. I quite enjoy talking about my dad. I think the family know that, and are quite happy to do that with me, and I enjoy that. And I think that's all I needed, was them to understand how I was feeling, especially it's not just me, all the family. Everyone messaged each other saying, how you feel, especially because his anniversary's kind of just gone on the Friday. They'll message each other going, are you okay? How are you feeling? I'm okay. And it was just nice to know there's someone, if I was feeling really down, I could go, look, I'm really not feeling good. But I'd have someone there. That's the thing, not everyone has that.
I must say, it's great to see all your family here today. Yeah, there are loads of you, and it's fantastic. And I believe even your dad's here in spirit.
He is. He's here.
He's right here, look.
He's there.
A wonderful picture of him there. So it's absolutely fantastic. Well, I think we all wish you the very best of luck, Hope.
Thank you.
I'm glad I'm down here on the ground, but I'll be cheering you on, and we'll speak to you again once you've got back down to earth.
Brilliant.
Thanks a lot.
Brilliant. Thank
you.
Alright, why are we jumping out of an aeroplane today?
I am raising funds for the Kaleidoscope Plus group who work with an initiative called SOS Silence of Suicide, to raise funds for them to set up a walk-in centre for those who have mental health issues.
Cool, we should go then, shouldn't we?
Yeah, I think, that was so cool. We're going again? When you tip out, it'd be the worst bit. It was just, that fall is incredible. Absolutely incredible. Yeah, I'll do that again.